All right, let's dive into something really different today. We're going to look at a model of reality from the Qur'an, but probably not in the way you've ever heard before. Forget thinking of it as just literature. What if we treated it like a system of physics? Imagine the text itself acting like light, creating a universe of reflections, refractions, and these things called caustics. It's a wild idea, so let's unpack it.
We're all pretty used to the basic layout, right? Heaven and hell. There are the endpoints, the ultimate reward, the ultimate punishment. It's a simple picture, one we've had for a very, very long time.
Okay, but what if that simple framing is just scratching the surface? This model we're exploring suggests that underneath that simple binary, there's a precise physical structure, almost like a mathematical system. It's saying heaven and hell aren't just places, they're more like physical states, pushed to the absolute limits of what reality can be.
So that brings us to the big question for this whole explainer. What if reality itself behaves like a giant optical system? Seriously, imagine meaning isn't just found by reading one verse at a time, but instead it appears where all these cosmic structures and forces converge. Just like how lenses focus scattered light to create a sharp, clear image. That's the core idea we're running with.
Now, looking at things this way immediately throws up a huge problem, a real paradox, right at the heart of how we think about creation and justice. And it all boils down to one thing: the nature of cosmic fire.
I mean, think about it for a second. Real justice, it needs a process, right? It needs time, you need evidence, you need witnesses, you need a judgment. But when you're talking about the cosmic scale, where the forces are absolute, destruction is instant. So how in the world do you get justice when there's literally no time for it to happen?
So at these cosmic extremes, the model lays out two opposite poles. On one side, you've got heaven. Think of it as pure information, absolute order, perfect command, kind of like a flawless source of light. And then on the other side, you've got hell, its exact opposite, pure consequence, absolute fire and pressure. And crucially, between these two, there's no middle ground, no delay. It's just one or the other. And that's the whole problem right there. An instantaneous fire can only give you an outcome. It can destroy something, sure, but it can't judge it. It can't support a process of testing or witnessing. We're at a total dead end, logically speaking. Okay, so this model gets even more structured. It organizes these cosmic forces into something called the primary caustic. You can see the polarity we just talked about, heaven's light and order versus hell's fire and pressure. But look at what's underneath that. A triad of, well, let's call them governing functions. It's important to think of these not as just people, but as cosmic principles. So Dawood is the principle of absolute judgment and measure. Sulaiman is total command, total order. And Musa is the raw law of fire itself, the principle of confrontation and separation. These three together define how reality works at that instant, non-organic level. So we've got a problem. If the cosmic scale is just too fast, too immediate for justice, then how is justice even possible? Well, this is where the model introduces its solution. And believe it or not, it's right here, right under our feet. To get around that paradox of instant destruction, you need something in between, a sort of intermediary zone, a place where the absolute rules of the cosmos can be bent, slowed down, and allowed to unfold over time. There's a missing medium in the cosmic equation. And this is where Earth comes in, but in a totally new way. It's not just some random rock where life happened to pop up. No, in this model, Earth is a purpose-built calibration chamber. It's a piece of cosmic machinery designed specifically to solve this exact problem of justice. And this isn't just some abstract philosophical idea. It's actually grounded in some pretty solid science. I mean, Earth is, well, it's pretty special. It's got this perfect combination of things: stable liquid water, a full carbon cycle, photosynthesis, and, this is the big one, the ability to produce wood on a massive scale. And that last point, well, that turns out to be the key to everything. Which brings us to the absolute core insight of this entire model. The one physical property that unlocks the very possibility of justice in a universe that's otherwise defined by instant absolute fire. Let's just remember where we started. Cosmic fire is instant. It's pure, raw energy release, a direct, unfiltered consequence. There's just no pause button. But Earth has a trick up its sleeve. It has a mechanism to delay and store that energy. Through its amazing biological processes, it found a way to capture that solar energy, that cosmic fire, and basically put it in storage. And what is that storage mechanism? It's wood. It's so simple, but so profound. Through photosynthesis, plants take sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide, and they lock that solar energy away in the form of cellulose and lignin. So wood is literally, physically stored fire. Its consequence, but delayed, held in a physical form you can touch. And that one simple physical fact changes everything. Because by storing fire, Earth introduces the missing ingredient, time. Suddenly, consequence isn't instant anymore. It can be held, it can be measured, it can be observed, it can be released under very specific conditions. In other words, it can be witnessed. So, once you have this mechanism for delay, this cosmic pause button, a whole new operating system for reality becomes possible, one that seems to be designed specifically for testing and for judgment. This stored fire allows for what the model calls a secondary caustic. Basically, a planetary scale system centered right here on Earth. It kind of mirrors the big cosmic one, but it runs on completely different rules, organic principles: process, growth, decay, witnessing. And all of it is powered by that stored energy. And this, apparently, is why we're here. The Qur'an talks about two main forms of consciousness, right? The jinn, who are made from fire, and humans, made from clay. Well, Earth is the one special place where both can exist together, under a system of law. Why? Because here, the raw cosmic fire that the jinn come from is constrained, it's controlled. And we humans, we need that same fire, that stored energy, to be activated to live. So this Earth-based system runs on three core principles. Let's break them down. The first one is called Razīm. Now, in this model, Razīm isn't just a name. It stands for the principle of conserved information. The best way to think about it is like the book of reality, the complete record, the total memory, the exact state of everything before anything happens. Okay, the second principle is Razīm. This is the other side of the coin. This is manifestation. It's the irreversible release of that stored energy. It's the action, the consequence. Remember, on the cosmic scale, Razīm is just instant absolute fire. But here on Earth, thanks to a wood, Razīm becomes a controlled burn, a testable, observable action. And then finally, holding it all together, is Raham. Think of Raham as the regulatory principle, the oscillation that keeps the whole system honest. Its job is to make sure that every single action, every manifestation of Razīm, truthfully matches up with the information stored in Raham, in the book. And this whole balancing act, this constant test of truth, it's only possible because of that crucial delay that Earth's physics provides. Okay, that was a lot. So what's the big takeaway here? After all of that complex cosmic modeling, why does looking at reality this way even matter? Well, the argument is that maybe this hasn't been seen before because of how we usually approach these things. We tend to put science in one box and revelation in another. We often read verses one by one, linearly, instead of seeing the whole thing as a single, interconnected system. And maybe we just ignore the real-world physical constraints, like the properties of wood, that actually make this whole process of being tested even possible. And that leads us to the most powerful idea in this whole framework. Earth is not some cosmic side effect. It's not an afterthought of creation. It is the central piece of machinery. Its unique physical properties are the reason there can be delay, process, and witnessing. Earth is the reason manifestation can be judged. So this whole cosmic model, it brings everything right back down to a very personal level. And it leaves us with one last really provocative question. If reality really is a system of conserved information, the book, and your actions are the manifestation, all balanced by truth, then the question becomes, when will you hold the book over this life? A powerful thought to leave you with.